Hello, it's Mrs. Green, and today we're going to talk about dividing integers. Rules for dividing integers. I found a little graphic, and it shows the same rules apply for dividing integers as they did for multiplying integers, so that's nice. We have, if the sign of the two integers is positive, the result is positive. If they're the same sign and they're negative, the result is positive. So same sign. So for your key information, you have the same rule as multiplication. Same sign. The result is positive. So this is the beginning of your key information. So same sign, positive, and then different sign. So one negative, one positive, the result is negative. So different signs. The result is negative. The quotient is negative. So that's the key information for the rules of division. I want you to write down one more rule that has to do with 0. So the extra rule for 0 is this. So the extra rule for 0 says the quotient of 0 in any number is 0. So that looks like this. If you have 0 divided by 12, the quotient would be 0. 0 divided by negative 12, same thing, quotient is 0. So it doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, any non-zero number as your denominator results in a 0 quotient. Now there's another thing that you might see, which is people trying to divide by 0. So let's say you had the denominator was 0. That's something called undefined. So the rule there is that you can't divide by 0. So you cannot divide by 0. It's impossible to take something and divide it 0 times. All right, example problems. Example 1 is going to be a negative divided by another negative. So we have same sign. And so the quotient of 5 is positive. So we're applying our rules. B, example B is negative 14 divided by 2. That's a 4. So I have different signs. So different signs. Quotient is negative. So that's a negative 7. And C, 36, sometimes you'll have the negative on the bottom. In B it was on the top. In C it's on the bottom. Those are both acceptable ways to write a fraction. You can have you could have it also in the middle. All three are acceptable. I'll stretch that out though a little bit. And so this is going to be a negative 4 because it's a negative when we have two different signs. Next two examples have to do with 0. So write these down too. If you divide a number into 0, you still have nothing. You started with nothing, you divided it by negative 7, and you end up with nothing. So dividing into 0 is still 0. And this is the one that's kind of not allowed. If you try to divide something by 0, that's an impossible operation, so that's what's called undefined. You could put the word impossible, that I would accept that as well. But the correct mathematical term is undefined, and that is that you can't divide anything by 0. If you use long division to help you, if you can't remember, you're sitting there at a test and you've got these two problems and you know one of them is 0 and one is undefined and you can't remember which one is which, there's a little trick. If you go back to your long division and you set up two long division problems and you know that the bottom goes on the outside and the top goes on the inside. So I've set up, this is E, this is D. I've set them up as long division problems. Then you have to think to yourself, what can belong up here in a long division problem to make this work? Well, in D, I can put 0 up here, and 0 times negative 7 will give me 0, so this one works. So we know that 0 is the answer. But in E, there's nothing I can put here that when you multiply it by 0, you get negative 7. There's just nothing, nothing, because anything you multiply by 0 will be 0. So this one does not work. So that's a little trick if you can't remember which one is undefined and which one is 0. You can always set up long division. Your practice problems, so this is practice. Your practice problems are going to be negative 81 divided by negative 9, negative 49 divided by negative 7, 36 divided by negative 4, and negative 27 divided by 0. Alrighty, that's it. Oh, and don't forget to do your wrap-up summary. I know some of you are getting not all the points because you're forgetting to do that piece. Don't forget to do that.